Welcome to my video series where I'm going to talk about English prepositions of place or location, like at, on, and in, and when to use each one. And I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite snacks, Larabar, an inspiring story about a business owner. I'll also teach you some common English idioms and vocabulary that you can use in your everyday life and in business. My name is Raleigh. Let's begin. I bought this particular Larabar at a grocery store or a supermarket called Whole Foods. Let's look at the sentence here. I bought the Larabar at Whole Foods. Do you see a preposition? The preposition here is at. At is a preposition. If you need a lesson in detail about what prepositions are, I'll put a link to that video here and also below in the description for this video if you need to watch that. I bought the Larabar at Whole Foods. So I'm using the preposition at with the location Whole Foods. But sometimes I also use prepositions on and in for locations. For example, I bought this Larabar at Whole Foods on Lee Road in Orlando in Winter Park. I use each preposition for a very specific reason. I cannot mix these prepositions. I cannot say at Orlando or on Orlando, for example. So let's talk about why I'm using each preposition. Let's start with in Orlando and in Winter Park. I use the preposition in for large locations like cities, Orlando, and neighborhoods, Winter Park. Winter Park is a neighborhood in the city of Orlando where I live. How about the preposition at? At Whole Foods. In which case do you think we use the preposition at? We use the preposition at for the smallest of these locations, buildings. How about on Lee Road? We use the preposition on for roads and streets, locations that are medium compared to buildings and cities and states. This pyramid can help you remember when to use at, on, and in. We use at for the smallest locations, at a building. We use on for the medium-sized location, roads and streets, on a road, on a street. And we use in for the largest locations, in cities and in neighborhoods. If you want extra practice with the idioms and the prepositions that you're learning in this series, you can click the link below. I will send you a PDF with the triangle chart with at, on, in, examples, and exercises practicing the prepositions and the idioms so you can comfortably use them in your English speaking and your English writing. Let's practice. I'm going to put a location on the screen, and I want you to decide if it needs the preposition at, on, or in. How about Miami? Miami is a city, so we need to say in Miami. The bank. The bank is a building, so we need to say at the bank. Church Street. Church Street is the name of a road. You can see because it says street. So we say on Church Street. Orlando Avenue. Orlando is the name of a city, but Orlando Avenue is the name of a road in Orlando. Avenue means road. So we say on Orlando Avenue. 1030 North Orlando Avenue. At 1030 North Orlando Avenue. This location has a road in it, but 1030 North Orlando Avenue is the address of a specific building. So this is the address of a building. We say at an address, at 1030 North Orlando Avenue. In fact, this is the specific address of the Whole Foods location where I bought the Larabar. Now, remember I told you I bought the Larabar on Lee Road? This Whole Foods actually is at the intersection of Lee Road and Orlando Avenue. So we would say at an intersection because it's the intersection of Orlando Avenue and Lee Road. And right there at this intersection where it crosses is a very specific location. At an intersection or at the intersection of Orlando Avenue and Lee Road. How about Florida and the USA? We didn't talk about locations like this yet. Florida is a state. The USA is a country. But now that you know these rules, which preposition do you think we should use with Florida and the USA? Very good. In Florida, in the USA, because they're big. They're even bigger than cities and neighborhoods. We use the preposition in for states, countries, continents, and provinces. Some countries have states, other countries have provinces, but they're very similar and we use in for both. This is Laura American, and she is the founder of Larabar. A founder is a person who creates or starts a business or a company. She is the founder of Larabar. Recently, I heard an interview with Laura American and how she came up with the idea for Larabar. To come up with something means to think of an idea or something new. Recently, I heard an interview with Laura American and how she came up with the idea for Larabar. I love Larabars because they're made of just a few ingredients, whole foods like nuts and fruits, and they don't have any added sugar or preservatives. A preservative is a chemical added to food products to keep them fresh. Larabars come in lots of flavors. This one is called coconut cream pie, and it has only 4 ingredients. It has coconuts, dates, cashews, and almonds. Let's do a little more practice. I'm going to tell you about the background of Laura American. Background means the history of a person's life and work experience. So I'm going to tell you about her background, and I want you to practice using prepositions of location as I tell you the story of how Laura American came up with the idea for Larabar. Let's begin. I have a list of locations here, and I want you to actively think about which preposition should go with each location, at, on, or in. Laura American was born the United States. In the United States. She went to college or university in California. At the University of Southern California. In Los Angeles. How about this next one? Truesdale Parkway. Parkway is another word that means road or street. So what do you think? On Truesdale Parkway. Specifically, the University of Southern California is located at 3351 Truesdale Parkway. While Laura was at the University of Southern California, she played on the volleyball team. This is a bonus question. I did not talk about teams. Team is not a location, but we use the preposition on for teams. Laura was on the volleyball team. So Laura played on the volleyball team at USC. USC means the University of Southern California. The volleyball coach had strict rules about his players' diet in order to keep them healthy. So he didn't allow his players to have any sugar or any red meat. In English, we consider all food that comes from animals meat. Chicken, turkey, beef from cows, all of this is considered meat. But red meat means the meat that comes from mammals, like beef from cows, pork from pigs, lamb, etc. It's the meat that looks red before you start cooking it. So the volleyball coach at USC didn't allow Laura to eat sugar or red meat. She started to follow this diet for the first time in her life, and she noticed how amazing she felt. A light bulb went off in her head. This is an idiom that means she suddenly understood something or she got a new idea. And in this case, she suddenly started to understand something about diet. A light bulb went off in her head. This is only the first part of Lara's story about how she started to come up with the idea for her company, Larabar. If you want extra practice with the idioms and the prepositions that you're learning in this series, you can click the link below. I will send you a PDF with the triangle chart with at, on, in, examples, and exercises practicing the prepositions and the idioms so you can comfortably use them in your English speaking and your English writing. In the next videos in this series, I will teach you advanced prepositions of location, prepositions of time, and I'll also teach you many more common English idioms and vocabulary that you can use in your everyday life and that you'll probably hear in business situations if you're doing business with Americans. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. It's so good.